It's a win and another win and another win. You get to win. You get to win. Everybody gets to win all the time. Yay. So we started talking about constant wins and homing in on the how when I showed you how I added a bonus pre-training and rearranged the modules of my program to ramp you up with simpler trainings and actions before leading you into more complex trainings and actions. The most important way to create constant wins happens when you're planning your experience product. You want to structure the experience from the moment your mission is accepted to the moment that mission is accomplished in a way that ramps someone up from small, simple, easy wins to larger and larger wins. I demonstrated how this worked in our 7-step product brainstorming process so you could avoid dropping people too quickly into the deep end of the pool. They're going to get there anyway. It's inevitable if you're having them do something significant. It's going to get real and it's going to get challenging. There's no way of avoiding that. But if you can ease people into the challenging bits and have them feel like they've made at least some progress first, that goes a long way towards building enough momentum to keep them going when things get challenging. You can think of this like a person's escape velocity. In physics, escape velocity is the minimum speed necessary for an object to escape from the gravitational influence of a massive body. You're helping your students, customers, and clients escape from who they currently are, how they're being, or what they've achieved or not achieved in relation to your topic. But it's well known that the status quo, the way things are right now, has a massive gravitational pull. It's a lot easier to keep things the way they are than it is to make a change. As the saying goes, better the devil you know. It's easier for people to stay the same and do the same than it is to make a change. Making a change brings up all kinds of unfamiliar thoughts and emotions, as it takes us out of our comfort zone. It's easier to see what we have to lose than what we have to gain. Human biology evolved over tens of thousands of years, and for the vast majority of that time, survival was our primary imperative. Humans didn't have the luxury of self-realization. We're hardwired to stay safe and to play it safe. At the same time, it's also part of our human biology to want to improve our lives. So constant wins is about providing positive reinforcement and letting people see that the actions they're taking and the changes they're making are not only safe, they're resulting in forward progress. Constant wins allows them to gradually expand their capacity for action, change, and to some extent risk and discomfort, one small win at a time. Constant wins is about creating a game your customer can win. You do this by giving them the experience of building up their confidence and motivation, one small easy win at a time, so they can feel good about the work you're doing together and make their way step by step to bigger actions and bigger results. Almost like a child builds their skills in confidence by practice and by doing, whether that's at home, at school, or on the playground. The reason why constant wins is one of the most important core experiences has to do with our biology. As you've seen, inside our brains is a very old neurological system that, among other things, loves to win. This is the limbic system, which is also called the lizard brain. It's the most primitive part of our brains that drives our emotions, our moods, and addictions. The most addictive substances release happy chemicals in our brain that has us coming back for more. Luckily, human achievement and accomplishment can also release these chemicals. Whether that's getting better at a skill, making a clear choice, or taking a to-do item off your list, it doesn't really matter if the win is big or small, the brain just loves to win. And even the anticipation of winning is enough to start to flood your system with that powerful cocktail of happy chemicals. We literally feel rewarded when we win. That's why video games such as Pokemon Go are so addictive and so motivating, inspiring grown adults to hit the streets by the millions in pursuit of little virtual creatures so they can rack up experience points to unlock handy new items to serve you on your journey. The Experience Product Masterclass was inspired in part by this global phenomenon. As I watched the popularity of this game explode across the world, I couldn't help but ask myself, what if I could get people that excited not to play a game, but to change their life and the world for the better? And what if I could help my students get their customers, clients, and students that excited too? So I took the idea of racking up experience points from Pokemon Go, and I applied it to a one-to-many group coaching and training program. While many training products focus on delivering information, EPM is different. Every single training is built around one specific action and one specific win. Every time you watch a video and check it off, you hear a ka-ching and get 1 point, which feels like a win. But more importantly, every time you take an action and check it off, you hear a ka-ching, ka-ching and get 2 points, which feels like an even bigger win. So you start to get hooked on taking action. You start to see how good it feels and how simple it can be to win several times a week. And with each win, you build your confidence and motivation to keep winning. Now, the XP system that we've integrated inside the membership site requires some fancy custom technology to get right. And I don't recommend you build a fancy site like the one we have right out of the gate. But you could take the same concept and do something more low-tech when you first get started. For example, you could create a Google spreadsheet and give access to all your participants and let them mark their progress through the program. Or if you have a one-on-one program, provide a Google Doc for each individual customer. Or you could give participants a visual chart to print out and hang on their fridge so they can mark their progress themselves and watch their chart fill up with actions. You could also do something similar at an in-person event or retreat and hang a physical chart on the wall and give participants gold stars to mark their progress through the event. We do this at all our mentorship events so participants can see everything they've accomplished as they accomplished it. And even though it's grown adults, they love the star chart. Then along the way, you can offer contests, prizes, and rewards when participants reach certain milestones or thresholds in your program. You can offer physical things such as copies of books or t-shirts, or virtual things such as digital products, webinars, virtual workshops, or gift cards, or additional experiences such as event tickets or spending time with you, or even money, a coupon or gift certificate to spend on future products with you. In EPM, we post a Friday leaderboard on the Facebook group so participants can see where they are in relation to other students and, of course, to themselves. This also draws on the powerful core experience of community, which we'll talk about more in this module. The reason why it's so important to take this extra step of not just giving your customers points or allowing them to track their own progress, but actually recognizing and validating their wins and actions publicly is because 75% of the population is externally motivated. They're motivated by rewards, praise, or validation outside of themselves. And just 25% of the population is internally motivated, where they can generate their own reward and validation. When I'm facilitating EPM, I always announce a jump contest 2 weeks into the program to inspire people to catch up and keep moving. It works like this. Whoever jumps 20 points during the contest period becomes eligible to win a t-shirt. We usually have 20 shirts available to give away. Since the top students may not be able to jump 20 points since they're already caught up, we also give shirts away to all students who hit the maximum number of points available during the contest period. This way, we're incentivizing both our top performers and those who feel behind. So why do I do this? Why do I take on the expense and the effort to run a contest like this? Here's the thing that's important to understand as a product creator. No matter what program I teach, how big or how small it is, whether it's a 1-month program or a 1-year program, people always feel behind. Because feeling behind is one of the common coping mechanisms many people use as a logical excuse to give up, along with overwhelm, confusion, feeling stuck, and negative projection or blame. If you can point the finger to something or someone outside of yourself as the reason for your inability to move forward, then you don't have to take responsibility for your own actions, emotions, and beliefs. You don't have to evolve your self-identification to allow for your behaviors. Unfortunately, that's an extremely disempowering perspective and causes people to believe that their success is the responsibility of someone or something other than them. When the truth is that true freedom comes from taking 100% responsibility for what's happening in your life, good, bad, and ugly. At the same time, as you saw, 75% of the population needs positive reinforcement and validation to keep going. So it's our job as leaders to understand the psychology of what happens when someone tries to make a major change in their life, to have compassion without taking it personally. That's why I always announce a jump contest 2 weeks in. I realize that this is a pivotal moment where people can either succumb to the gravitational pull of the status quo or reach escape velocity. And it's my goal to build in enough wins to help the majority of my students reach escape velocity. So a little bit of external motivation can go a long way towards empowering students who feel behind to quickly catch up. The first time I ran this contest, we had 360 students. We only gave t-shirts away to people who jumped 20 points, and we sent out almost 80 t-shirts. Now we reward people who jump 20 points, as well as people who hit the maximum number of points available. And our students are stoked to receive their t-shirts because they earned them. Now, the next way you can set people up to win is by focusing each of your training sessions, segments, or chapters on one specific win and only one specific win. So people feel like they're making specific progress and winning every single time they interact with you or your materials. If you look inside the membership site, you'll see that under each video is a segment called Your Next Win. Here's the Your Next Win description of the Art of Naming training. Use the How to Name Anything bonus guide to craft a great name for your experience product. I recommend choosing 2 to 3 naming templates that resonate the most with you. Then brainstorming names using each template. Once you have a few names you like, you can post them to the Facebook group using a poll and see what resonates with the other students before making your final selection. If you don't find the perfect name, simply go with your best option now. It's more important to get your product out the door so you can make money and make an impact than it is to wait for the perfect name to emerge. Some things just take time to simmer. It took me months to name this product. Can you see how clear, simple, and straightforward that is? You know exactly what it's going to take to win. And I set expectations here since many students may not find the perfect name right out of the gate. No matter how many templates I give you, sometimes things like names just take time. That's natural. The reason why each of these wins are so simple and powerful are because they integrate one or more value levers. So a value lever is a universally recognized way to improve your customer's experience and the sense of value they're getting from your product. In other words, it's a way to provide value that your customer will recognize as being valuable. The most powerful value lever there is goal achievement or project completion. Nothing allows your customers to feel like they're winning more than achieving a specific goal or completing a specific project, no matter how small it is. Try to center every interaction or training around a small yet achievable goal or project that keeps your customers moving towards the bigger goal of mission accomplished. Another universal value lever is simplicity, convenience, and ease. You can create the feeling of constant wins by creating simple tools, templates, worksheets, and mini frameworks to simplify the process of achieving those goals or completing those projects. For example, even though naming can be something that people agonize over, I try to make this process as simple as possible by providing 21 naming templates and clear next steps to get to your blockbuster product name. How can you create simple tools and templates to take as much of the guesswork as possible out of each step on the journey from mission to mission accomplished? Another thing we do in the Experience Product Masterclass is to keep individual trainings to 50 minutes or a whole lot less, or a maximum of 2 to 3 hours a week. Since we set the expectation of spending at least 1 hour a day on EPM, we want to make sure the trainings don't take too long since our students also want time to attend group coaching calls and simply do the work. It's proven that the brain can only hold its focus for 50 minutes at a time, so we've pledged to keep even the most complex trainings to under 50 minutes. It can feel overwhelming enough to simply commit to making a major change in your life and take action towards it. The more you can simplify and shorten your interactions and trainings and center them around specific wins, the better. That way your customer can feel the positive emotions that come with winning. That's part of the natural reward system that's driven human effort and innovation for thousands of years, driving us to build the 7 wonders of the world and the modern-day miracles of nanotechnology, medicine, and beyond. Our natural reward system has caused us to fly to the outer regions of space and descend to the bottom of the ocean and break world record after world record. So here's what I'm saying. If our limbic system is a record-breaking Olympian when it's properly motivated and a couch potato when it's not, then surely using constant wins to tap into our natural chemistry of motivation as we create products, programs, and courses should be job number 1 as we create. If you're in the business of helping people with your knowledge, advice, and products, then building constant wins into your experience product is mission critical. Because the opposite of constant wins is the feeling of chasing your tail, taking lots of action but going nowhere. never really having the satisfaction of getting a result, achieving a win, or catching your tail. You'll find your experience escalation plan in the worksheets for today's session as usual. Even though we'll be including it as a download for each session on the 10 core experiences, you only need to download it once. In step 4 of your experience escalation plan, write down how you plan to organize the steps in your bird's eye view around constant wins to ramp your customers up from simpler steps to more complex so they can gain unstoppable momentum, as well as the specific wins associated with each of the big steps in the process. In the next training, you'll learn about core experience number 5, which is normalizing the challenges that naturally come up on the journey from mission to mission accomplished so people can keep feeling like they're winning.